Hey guys, welcome back. It's Brandon the Therapist. Welcome back to the place where you receive the best news and information on male infertility and relationships. So today, we're going to slice up some apples, talk a little bit about relationships, and show you how preserving apples also relates to preserving your relationship. I'm joined by the wife. Follow her on Instagram at lauren.spoonful. Her name is Lauren. She told me to stop calling her the wife. So, how are you doing today, wife?
Good.
It's been a nice and quiet day so far.
Yeah.
Which is always beautiful. And our toddler is asleep.
He's asleep.
We can think.
So we're gonna take the time and go ahead and make some apple chips while he's asleep.
Are these frozen or are they just cold?
They're really cold.
Okay. So
I'm the one that, for the most part, does most of the preserving in the family.
I do a lot of the eating. I can't lie. We're family now, you two.
He's my taste tester. He's my carry this over here, pick this up over there. He's definitely helpful in that manner.
Yeah, and sometimes, I'll cook and what's that? When you take off the skin. De-skin.
Oh.
Peel.
Yeah, you're my peeler. Not always the cutter.
No,
like the big knife.
Because I'm a lefty, she always makes fun of the way I cut things.
Like how you're cutting the apple wrong now.
How am I cutting it wrong?
Look at.
This is what I deal with, guys.
So, how do you think? I am so close to your hand.
You are. Get away.
How do you think preserving has anything to do with relationships? Preserving food.
Preserving is essentially aging. In some way. Very slowly.
Or stopping the aging.
Yeah.
There you go.
And relationships change as they grow.
Right.
Thus, if they're not well preserved or well kept, they'll tend to spoil on you. So, by finding different methods, different ways,
Different ways, yeah.
By finding different ways to preserve your relationship, the better it is for you in the long run, and the more cohesive. Are these worth?
You can eat it.
By finding different ways to actually preserve your relationship, the better it is to actually have a future and not be so quick to run towards divorce or separation or all of the other things that come into play. What are your thoughts?
On preserving?
Yes.
I noticed that every year when I get to this time of the year, from August through about October, all the chopping and all the cutting, I feel like I'm getting rid of what I don't need just to get to what I do need, and trying to find a way to hold on to what I do need the longest. So for example, I don't need these inner cores for our apple chips, but we're making apple chips so we can enjoy apples. You cut yourself?
No.
Oh, so we can enjoy apples longer. So that's what I meant by that. So it's intentional. And I think in a relationship, if you're not intentional with preserving the best parts of your marriage, you can end up throwing it out. Throwing out the good with the bad sometimes.
Yes, I agree. And the other thing about preserving is that it forces you to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You're forced to actually slow down and analyze everything that's going on. Because if you move too fast, you'll make a mistake.
Right.
In this case, right now, the mistake could be cutting ourselves. And in your relationship, it could be, did you make a judgment call too quickly? What did you think about? What do you think about?
Making a judgment call too quickly.
When you... So no one wants to feel like they're being blamed.
Right.
The moment we get to the blame game, we have arguments and other issues that arise from that. And,
Done with Trey 1?
yeah, I think officially. And who wants to argue? I don't. I'm not an arguer. As you guys see, I don't have an arguing voice. We can debate. We can debate very well in a nice, quiet room. When it comes to yelling, I can't do it. It hurts. It hurts me. And I don't yell at you often. But it just doesn't bring good results.
Absolutely. How are you cutting it again?
Is there a particular way? Should I cut it like this?
Yes, please.
Why didn't you say that in the beginning?
I did when I showed you that you cut it wrong.
I was not paying attention. And that is why. That is also why you need to slow down.
Preserving your food is very similar to preserving your relationship in a manner of you find exactly what your family loves and you hold on to it. Is it movies? Is it trips to the beach? That's us. We love that.
Love water.
Yeah. Camping. So you find exactly what your family loves. I think as long as your family finds ways, your relationship finds ways to preserve what it loves, it will be there to enjoy in the future. It will be there for fun things. It will be enjoyable. That's a main thing, I think.
Yeah.
How many of you guys out there actually enjoy your relationship, or do you feel like you're suffering through every little thing?
Or are you dealing with something because you don't want to, you gain comfort in it? And unfortunately, when it comes to preserving, there's no comfort. There's comfort in knowing that it lasts. I should take that back. There's comfort in knowing that it will last,
but it
takes work.
Yeah.
And because it always takes work, there's just no stillness. There's always this need to grow together. And if you don't grow together, you start to see how you fall apart. And falling apart is so simple.
Yeah. Easy to accomplish.
Don't cut yourself.
Hard to avoid.
Because what situation is gonna cause you discomfort? I mean, we've run into quite a few of those.
Yes. Usually when we're not taking the time to stop and evaluate what we're getting into, I think that's when that's where we run into trouble. But when we stop and pause, like moments like this, let's stop, think about what it is that we have to accomplish next.
What is our goal?
Yeah, what is our goal?
Do we have an individual goal to the main goal?
Ooh, that's a whole different conversation. Whole different conversation.
And just working through it. making sure we're on the same page.
Right.
So with my clients, I use the analogy of buying a house. Everyone says we're saving for a house, but are you saving for the same house? By that I mean, who wants to be in a condo? Who wants to be in a house? How big is the house? Where is the house? What amenities does a house have to have? Is there a backyard? Is that big or small? All these things seem minor
Until you go look for a house.
until they're not. You know, if you wanted a big backyard and you realize how much mowing it takes,
Maybe
you don't want that yard anymore.
Maybe you don't want that. Also, too, if you didn't preserve those moments in the relationship from the very beginning, you wouldn't even know to approach the other person about their differences
Yes.
and what they actually wanted to achieve and do. I guess it'll be disconnect, right? Without those moments.
It'll be a huge disconnect. And this is not something that's unusual. We do it when we get to know each other.
Do what?
We find out our differences, what we like, what we don't like. We start preserving that time to see if this is worth going on further.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But
So-
then once you're with someone for a long time, you stop paying attention to those and stop finding moments to preserve and enjoy. Stop finding moments to,
You stop trying to impress.
yeah, that too.
Let's call it what it is.
That too.
So I hope I didn't lose you in that, but you know, we go through those steps in the beginning when we start dating and courting and getting to know each other. Like, are you worth my time?
Mhm.
Because now I'm preserving time to see if I can preserve a relationship. Whereas when you're in the relationship, it's now how do I preserve my relationship so we can build time.
Mm-hmm.
And no one gets into the relationship to break up. It said, hey, I'm gonna date you, but let's break up in 5 years. Nobody does that.
That's the best thing, right? Set an end goal.
I know
You're
exactly.
good for 2 years. Move on.
You know, we get into relationships and we establish courtship because we want to grow and grow old together. Find someone you can have companionship, great conversation, great goals, great thought checkers. If you guys haven't realized, my wife is my thought checker.
What? That's a burden. Not a burden. It's like a high expectation. I didn't think I was that. I see.
And even I might come up with an idea and I'm like, and you're like, that's way too far. Where are you going? Where's your thought in this? And it forced me to sit down and think about the details because I know the details, but I can't explain the details. And it also gives me perspective. Having someone who can help you through those things are another way to preserve your relationship, your marriage. And it builds partnership. I didn't know about partnership until my grandfather.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not oblivious to relationship issues.
No, you deal with them every day as a career.
You know?
That, and because we're human and things are different between every little human. But if you are focusing on preserving the best moments, if you're focusing on, or as we have focused on, constantly adding and preserving the moment, then it's a little harder to keep slipping into the rough moments.
Exactly.
Probably should have used a smaller knife to get the center out.
Probably so. I didn't know you had to get the center out.
You don't have to. For those of you guys who are coming to figure out exactly how to do this method, it's very simple. Just thinly slice The thicker they are, like there's a piece right there, it just takes much longer to dry, and it could end up not dry by the time you finish dehydrating them. But the thinner you get it, the better it is. And then the temperature and the time will determine if you have a chewy chip or a crunchy chip.
And that is absolutely correct. How do you like your apples?
Yeah, I like my apples chewy. I'm gonna try to cut this one thinner, okay?
Good luck.